So I haven't actually got anywhere in this investigation in the last 4 months.
Yeah, what was happening? Who's this? Where are we?
I think this is...
I
Drugs.
mean, it's been 4 months. I couldn't stop thinking about this game and the
The
things
designer
that.
drug. Narc.
This is Damon Gant, right?
Yes.
So I think, yeah, we just found out about the pills, or a... Oh, Jesus
yeah.
Christ, I'm already falling asleep.
Just like my designer over-the-counter medication, Aceta.
It's like like a picture of a logo, and there's like a little bit missing, and that's the fucking mystery.
Oh, yeah.
There's also an asshole.
There's this guy who's like polite when he's traveling, but when he's at work, he's like a card-carrying villain. Knock.
Oh yeah, advanced police.
Was it like he, like, controls his emotions, therefore he's an asshole?
This is why I'm skeptical of Death Stranding, because like there are people who swear it's a good game, but there are also people who swear this is a good game as well. Although that being said, the quote walking simulator just by itself it has more going on than this. At least it has walking and motion.
That is a hard choice to pick from. Sounds more exciting. Walking simulator or talking to people about drugs.
I mean, people really seem to like Death Stranding, but then I just remembered like this, and I'm like, hang on, wait a minute. Are you trying to trick me?
Does that game also have Meryl in it?
Well, no, because it's just fucking Konami.
Oh, right.
It has references to Half-Life and Cyberpunk 2044 in it. What?
Want to know more about my past? There's another game coming that'll explain that better.
You know, I just realized this weird comparison, but this is trying to do the same thing Guilty Gear does, and that it's just trying to be like appearance-wise as much of an actual anime to watch as possible, although achieved in different ways. Because like in a screenshot, this does look like an anime scene, but it's also like just static.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't do a lot else other than, I don't know, just make it fucking anime, but...
Yeah, like I don't know, like an FMV and like loop it somehow. I'm not like knocking it for that, but it's just I don't know. There's something about like at least the in Snatcher there's a lot just kind of standing around and talking, but for some reason like this in particular just bores the shit out of me. Maybe it's the dialogue, maybe the pixel art of the backgrounds has more charm than this. That makes sense.
It's the story is more compelling.
ここが
So you're just
BCP の
like
表面玄
actually
関
in it. So you
大きさ
care.
を無視すればホームの警察と大差
I
は
was
ない
gonna say, it's more so about,
整
like,
然としすぎて
the
るかな
world of Snatcher's a lot more interesting. There's also just, like, less dialogue options in that game from what I remember.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
this game has just a lot more filler in it. A lot more you have to, like, kind of sort through to actually get to the thing that gets you to the point. Like, it's like this game thinks its world is more interesting than it is. And it's like, it has
Yeah.
kind of an interesting idea, but then it doesn't use them because you're just in a generic city inside of a space colony.
Cities in space.
Like I said last time, though, the fact it's in space though makes no difference. They keep referencing fucking no gravity, but this you don't see it. It doesn't factor.
That's what I mean, yeah, it's just like,
It's just a city.
yeah, the premise is like interesting, and then you get to it, it's like, oh, that has nothing to do with anything. It's just, like, you could just put this on Earth. It would not make a difference.
And it would seem less obnoxious. Yeah, it wouldn't be as... Yeah, I'd probably be, like, less annoyed by this as a whole as well, because it being, like, just the squad potentially expected to be more exciting than it actually is.
You know, I remember that this game had a lot of dialogue about drugs. I didn't remember how much.
Also, I'm pretty sure that if a drug had such trace amounts that you couldn't really detect it in a drug screening, it wouldn't do nothing to you.
Yeah, right?
Like, once it gets into your bloodstream, it's gonna have to be saturated enough to, like...
Do something. Yeah, it's a contradiction.
Oh, but it's a super drug.
The sad thing is, you start playing this and you think, all right, well, this is just like the exposition start of it, and this will like eventually pick up. It doesn't pick up. Like, this is the whole game.
Well, it picks up in some ways, in that there are really stupid scenes.
There's like what, 2 scenes? There's like the middle and end. That's all I remember.
I just keep looking at that face. Like, someone
Yeah.
designed this.
What are Kojima's like trademarks as a designer? Like, he likes science. He likes explaining things in detail that necessarily wouldn't need to be explained. You know, there's like a weapons expert in MGS who will like tell you the intricacies of every single item you can pick up. He likes that. He does like weird pervy things occasionally, which is definitely in this game. He likes breaking the fourth wall. He likes using the whatever the game hardware is to play jokes on the player.
Oh, yeah,
Swapping the controller, turning the volume up in Snatcher. Although this game seems to like put all of that shit in like literally one scene that we'll get to, and then nowhere else.
See, I don't really remember any fourth wall breaking, although we'll get to it, I guess.
Yosh, Juno-san,
Oh, thank God.
Oh, thank God.
Let's
Feels like
get
we've
the
been watching.
fuck out of here.
Feels like we've been watching that for 4
BCP 前
months.
だ。さあ、捜査に出かけよう。
Those mech suit
Yeah.
things are just like
そこに
the
BCP の
perfect
ポスター
analogy for
あ
this
れで
game.
現場へ
It's
向
like,
かおう
that looks so cool, but nothing like that is actually, like, part of the game. It's just,
Yeah.
it's just set decoration. Like, the whole scenario is set decoration to
ジョナサン、乗れよ。
fucking just talking about
何年ぶり
drugs.
かな。江戸の無茶な運転を体験するのは。ホームのスポーツカーとは違う。そんなにスピードは出ん。安心しろ。 コンピューターのサポート
I heard
システムを搭載
Speedwagon, I
した
think.
下カーだ。ちょっとは安心だな。
Yeah, that pussy.
Let's speak of the devil.
なんだ?
あれが最新のパトロールの方法だ。コロニ
Oh,
ー
oh, Jesus, something's actually happening.
俺たちはまさに時代遅れだな。
さあ、俺たち流の捜査に出かけよう。
They're in space, by the way. It's easy to forget that.
They put a lot of vertical clearance in their space station.
ヨナさん、タバコはダメだ。禁煙者か。コロニー内での喫煙は禁
Then how the fuck does he have the cigarettes?
このタバコは副流煙
He
の出
just
ない
fucking brought them.
He found a way.
They didn't check him.
He did what Snake did in MGS1. He smuggled them up his ass.
しかも肺を提供するドナーにもなれん。
Well, okay, his stomach, but you know.
I was gonna say. I was like, I don't remember that.
しかしいつからだ。昔は吸わなかったろ。迷惑はかけん。
He's just chewing a cigarette.
やめられるさ。そうかな。そうさ。必ず吸わなくなる。
Just a candy cigarette, dude. Calm down.
Oh, wow, Kojima didn't foresee vaping? Wow, what an idiot. You know, when Snatcher played music like this, it was like at night, not a nice sunny day.
Yeah, this is really ominous looking, this corporate building.
God, look at the sun glaring. Man, how evil. Well, actually, it's not the sun, it's the artificial light that the colony uses.
Yeah, there's like better atmosphere in Snatcher.
This just feels misplaced, this music. Oh god. Uh-oh, disc is scratched.
Incredible.
I genuinely don't know who this is supposed to appeal to. This is like a really dry,
ヨナさん、それじゃあ中に入ろう。
like sci-fi novel.
Yeah, it feels like the people who would enjoy this story would not be playing, like...
A video game.
Yeah. PS1 FMV story game.
研究開発ビルだ。関係者以外の立ち入りは禁止になっているんだ。悪いが、お引き取り願おうか。
Stop blocking with your eyes! A surveillance camera?
Wow, surveillance cameras operated by computers.
What the fuck?
Are you gonna ask him out? Like what?
Whoa, what do you guys
ここ
want?
で働いている北条健三のことで話
Just came here to stare at you. Pass judgment on you.
警察なんだ BCP か。俺はここの警備兼受付を任されている斉藤ってもんだ。で、どういう要件だ？
And you also tell me a lot of shit about drugs.
この研究所に北条健三という男が勤めてるはずだが。
ああ、確かに北条さんならうちの社員だ。何年も前からこの研究所で働いてる。俺なんかよりもずっと古いさ。
実は
So it's just that the guy works here, doesn't he? Yes, as an employee.
捜索願い。そうか。それじゃあもうオープンなんだ。ん？今なんて？いや、会社の方か
I
ら
like to
信用
work
問
as a
題になるか
customer.
らしばらく様子を見るようにって言われてね。マスコミに騒がれるとまたイメージダウンだからな。まあ、早い話がそういうこと。うちほどのグループになるといろいろと妬まれたりするから。
それで北条氏はいつから？
それがもう3週間にもなるかな。北条さん連絡もなしにぷっつりと来なくなったんだ。それでこっちも困ってるんだ。どうしていいものやら。家族の方からも問い
You
合
can
わせ
tell
があ
by
る
the sound of my voice that it's
会
been
社からは
driving me
口止めさ
crazy.
れてるしでね。
I think it is quite telling that I literally cannot remember the plot. I don't actually know what the answer to the mystery is.
It's Pikachu.
I mean, I can take guesses, but
Yeah, my memories of this story are really scattered and vague.
Batone! But
Return syndrome. You don't need a word for syndrome.
it's just called
Or-
homesick, and it even has the word home in it. You know, maybe I am curious about this game's fan translation, because like, there's a lot of stupid shit in it. That maybe it sounded better in Japanese, I don't know. Then again, they are putting like a scientific name on just feeling homesick.
Yeah, that can't be like a translation thing. That's just gotta be what it is.
Like maybe it sounds a little less stupidly on the nose, but it's still a little weird.
Maybe it's like more normal in Japanese to put names to some of these things, I don't know.
Oh no, not the DDS program.
They should like put a mini game you can play while you're going through the dialogue so you don't get bored.
Namco has a patent on that, though.
Yeah, I know they do. Maybe the dialogue should be a game.
Maybe this should just be a game.
Like, maybe it should be like, I don't know, like Active Reload and Gears of War, where they like made the act of reloading like a game, maybe asking questions. You should play like a game with Breakout or something. I don't know.
You should play a game of Simon while all the dialogue is going on.
Didn't like fucking what's it called? Oblivion have like a really poorly thought out conversation wheel thing
Oh yeah.
that I don't think ever made look of sense.
I like how we learned this guy's name, but he's still referred to in the subtitle as Guard.
You know,
Neither pro drugs nor anti drugs, just middle drugs. So, drug delivery service, they're just talking about we're going to like make drugs more efficient and getting the drugs into you rather than just kind of riding in your digestive system.
God, I miss the snatches.
You know what it is? I think the Snatchers themselves were also more like they were a threat. Like you were constantly under fear that like somebody was watching you and trying to kill you. You know, stuff
Yeah.
like that. Like someone you're talking to could be a fake.
Yeah.
And here it's just like there's no threat whatsoever. You're just talking about drugs.
Maybe part of it is like Snatcher is very blatantly a rip-off of Blade Runner and Terminator, but they're sort of mixed together to be their own thing. But like, you know, they are it's a blatant rip-off. This, as far as I know, is a lot more original, but maybe that's the problem. Maybe Kojima's better when he's just ripping
Well,
off movies.
it's every 80s cop movie, but in space.
Not really. I mean, yeah, I get the Lethal Weapon thing, but
And the being about drugs thing.
Yeah.
yeah, but it's not like Scarface or something with like drug dealing. It's like it's literally about the manufacture of drugs. It's not even. Then again, but Breaking Bad made that kind of interesting, but still, like it's just about the science of drug manufacturing and pharmaceuticals. And it's just like I don't care.
I think the
Like
implication
I want
is
to see
that
the
like
criminals.
with the other one, like Snatcher is like more heavily based on an actual story, and so you have like a lot
Yeah.
more elements to work with. But this is just like kind of generic.
Yeah.
So there's no like plot points that he can hit on. It's just drugs.
Well, I mean, this is just bad pacing, and like we shouldn't be in this part of the story for so long, or the story should be more investigative, you know.
Yeah, it just kind of feels like you can ask a bunch of questions and like 75% of it you don't need to know. It's just like, well, we need to have something to make the other questions seem more important.
Have we had an actual puzzle yet? Because like Snatcher, there are things like you have to work out and you have to trigger. Obviously, this genre of game, visual novels, you're just kind of going through menus until you hit the next trigger to progress it. But Snatcher had some actual puzzles in, like Hospital O'Lean and things like that.
We're like a quarter of the way through this game.
Yeah, and have we done a single like actual puzzle, or have we just been going through menus?
We've just been going through menus. Like here's the thing. Like, this is supposed to be like if you do this right, this is like Phoenix Wright. You care about all these questions because you're unsolving a mystery, and you're actually getting like clues in along the way, and like things are advancing, even if you're not like doing action, so to speak. But we haven't really learned anything.
No.
We're still in.
何か手がかりがあるかもしれん
We're still in the very beginning where we're laying out the basics.
It's like a bad adventure game where you don't like learn things that help you get to the story. You just hit every option until the game lets you go forward.
Well, it's about the writing just in the story in general, and like you're taking off with stuff like Lethal Weapon or stuff. Those don't have a mystery plot at all. You know, those are like, you know, just you just get in because there's
I do think this game just has less of a mystery and is more just. It's like an action movie without the action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's watching Lethal Weapon for like the actual plot.
Like there's some parts that I when they start doing it, it's like, hey, there could be something interesting going on here. We still haven't advanced any of the story, as in like the mystery, you know.
We had one action scene that was okay, and then we had a bunch of like police training, and
a bunch.
Yeah, and that's all we've done in terms of not just talking about stuff. It feels like we're still establishing the world, and we're a quarter of the way through this game.
Yeah, we're still establishing the world, and we're still establishing the very, you know, basics of who everyone. We're in the very first part of the story, where you're just establishing everything you need to know before you start digging into the mystery. But we're not. We've been doing this forever.
I think I said this last time, but there's a lot of world building in Snatcher that isn't part of the main plot. Like, you can miss it if you just want to beat the game. There's a lot in the computer, and then there's like supplemental stuff. There's a lot to Snatcher's world that you don't see just by playing the game. However, this is like really insisting that you get every single part of its world building. Like, it is front loading it.
Oh god, the mosquito.
On the.
Do you remember that?
These are a bunch. Like, I don't know how much of this is actually necessary and how much of this is the long play being thorough, but at the same time, you're going to want to ask a lot of these questions because you're in investigative mode, so you don't know which ones are going to lead to thing. Yeah.
When I played this, no, I don't believe much of this is avoidable. I think you have to go through this if I remember correctly.
Yeah, a lot of it is required anyway. But like, you know, ideally you would want it to be important stuff to know anyway, but this game has too much information, not enough of it, I feel, is actually
you gotta like filter out, what is important, it's just way too much.
What if it is Kojima obsessing about technology?
When he did that in Snatcher, but at least he made it optional, you know? That's the difference.
Oh my god.
K9, it's a drug for dogs.
何の略だうちが薬を卸してる病院さ
この下の落書きは何だろう なんかのマークかな。
猫の足跡みたいだな。
He
Canine.
really is a dog.
K9 100セットだって。K9 ってまだ商品化されていないんだろう。どうして病院に100セットも。新製品は許可が下りた時点で発売までの間にサンプルテストを行うんだよ。テストといっても副作用とかじゃなく、二次的なデータを集めて生産や営業への参考にするためさ。それで100セットっていうのは腑に落ちんな。
その病院で確かめてみた方がいいな。
そのサンプルはどこで作るんだ？
So there's like a mystery solved. Like they know to go to the hospital, but that's like not the player working it out. Like it was just like, oh, it's there. I guess they clicked on the thing there that was quite prominent.
Yeah, it's just again just click on everything until you advance the plot.
Snatcher did that a bit, but is it? A Japanese? That's just realized how weird that sounds to say.
You got this dude staring at you.
I like how we just glossed over master slave manipulator.
The problem is the fact that it's a natural point and click. Like you got to find those pixels as well.
Haven't seen any blatant pixel hunting yet, at least.
No, I'm not gonna. I have to be honest. Like Snatcher wasn't perfect either, though. Like sometimes some of the menu choices were a bit obnoxious. When I first played, I did get stuck a few times because I didn't interact with I didn't like choose the dialogue enough times.
Oh yeah.
I also remember it being pretty good about changing the dialogue like each time before it actually repeated.
Yes, that's very important.
Oh, better make a note of that.
What the fuck? It's like the black belt, you know? It just
Yeah.
different colored belts to determine how good you are.
I do sort of realize that these games kind of need a thing where it's a great benefit if the protagonist has someone to talk to, whether it's Metal Gear or Ed. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just a lot of them talk, like if they're by themselves, they're just talking to themselves.
Oh yeah.
Although you say that, and then there's a lot of adventure games where they just talk to themselves.
Yeah.
Then again, those weren't like mystery based ones as much.
Yeah, I get a feeling.
Or if they
more
are,
like
they're
if
ones where
Guy-
you kind of have to do the mystery yourself rather than.
Yeah, like I wish Threepwood is like if he's talking is usually to someone. He doesn't have to like converse with himself. Like, oh, this is what this means. Like the player's just like you said, doing that.
よし。北条の足取りも分かったことだし、失礼しようか、ジョナさん。
I'm glad you did
Yeah.
because I have no idea what it was.
There's the hospital.
We found the breadcrumb.
I feel like I'm studying for an essay. Like I really have to focus to pay attention. Like I feel like there's gonna be a quiz at the end.
いいか、ジョナさん。北条家へ向かうぞ。
北条の家か。
どうした、ジョナさん。
気が進まない。触れてはいけないのかもしれない。
Hojo's the guy that really likes Sega, right?
もう片足を突っ込んでるんだ。
Yep.
引っ返さない。 避けては通れん。
Damn, I'm starting to realize how boring this is gonna be.
北条家ロレインの家。
It's a turbo cycle. I'm curious how we would have reacted if I played this before Snatcher. Although
ここが
obviously
北条家らしい。
this being like a fan translation and the
こ
other
こ
one
にロレイ
being
ンが
like
娘のカ
officially
レンがい
released
る
in
はず
English.
だ。
I was looking at the
彼
other
女
one
に
very
話を聞こ
lightly.
う。ジョナサン、娘のカレンは BBC の人気キャスターだ。カレン北条。聞いたことがあるだろ。
Oh yeah, we saw her.
ロレインがそんなこと言ってたな。
They didn't even give her time off work when
もしや
her mother was killed. Like Jesus
彼
Christ.
女はロレインの生き写しだ。
ロレインの娘か。
Oh
いい
no.
な、ジョナサン。30年も経っているんだ。お前にとっては3年前のことに思えるかもしれんが、冷静に受け止めるんだぞ。
Oh. Man, that
One of
shows that
Beyond's biggest problems: neighbors can see inside your house.
we've inverted these cloth shutters. They're called curtains.
Wow.
Very European-looking house.
He said after dialogue that indicates it's Japanese architecture, so which
Yeah.
is yeah.
BCP のものです。ちょっとお話を伺いたいのですが。
BCP ちょっと待ってください。セキュリティを解除しますから ID をカメラに向けてください。
こうかな。
Just gives the bird.
Yeah, there's a little bird
Really?
on the badge.
いや、カレンさん。
Are you,
ええ。
pay
Wow.
attention, Jonathan, you fucking
あなた
idiot.
はジョナサン・イングラム。あなた、イングラムね。
ああ、そうだが。
I think so.
帰って。どうして私たちの家族につきまとうの？これ以上私たちを苦しめないで。お願いよ。
カレンさん、そんな気はない。俺はただ、地球でロレインに、君の母親に頼まれたんだ。父親を探し出してほしいって。
その母さんもあなたに会いに行ったばっかりに。どうして父や母が。どうしてなの？あなたよ。
Find that
ジョ
out.
ナサン・イングラム。いつもあなたが原因よ。
You killed her.
あなたが
Oh yeah, that's right. I
あなたが母を殺したも同然よ。
forgot it's Jonathan.
付きまとう
He's
のはやめ
a
てください。
schizophrenic. He
父は
killed her.
私が探します。帰ってください。
That would have been a cool twist if he found out he
Jonathan.
did it himself and he just
あ
has
なたは
split
ジョナサンを
personality.
誤解してる。
It's a memento. He did it.
あなたは
私は BCP の風紀家のエド・ブラウン。ジョナサン同様、君の母さんの古い友人だ。ジョナサンがロレインや君たちを苦しめるなんてとんでもない。俺は
Intentionally.
こいつと古い付き合いだ。こいつのロレインへの気持ちは誰よりも知っている。
知ってるわ。母さんもあなたのことをずっと思ってた。母は父にいくら言われてもあなたの写真いつも持ち歩いていたもの。父さん
She's just like
かわいそう。
permanently leaning in.
母さんは忘れなければ
Yeah.
ならなかったの。
She's on like the door opening pose and
そ
just
のことで
never
ずっと
bothered
母
to
は
stand
喧嘩が
up.
絶えなかったわ。私はそんな二人を見て育ったのよ。
Remember,
幼い頃から。
seem to remember pose being done, that same pose being in Snatcher.
知らなかった。
They were, yeah, it's just like leaning as she was like leaning out of a crack, but the door's wide open.
君の気持ちはよくわかる。だ だがジョナサンを恨むのは間違っている。こいつはつい3年前まで宇宙をさまよっていたんだ。
カレンさん、聞いてくれ。君も君の父さんも大変な事件に巻き込まれてるかもしれない。俺は君たちを助けたい。君たちの力になりたい。
It's not like he left her or anything. He literally, like...
Well, I mean, she's being irrational, but in a realistic way, you know?
迷惑だから
Eh,
中に入って
it's a little shaky, I'd say.
It's a little, yeah, but it's not
So
crazy.
Mother just died, just kind of taking it out.
さてどうしましょう刑事さん
Why is she dressed like a 19th century explorer?
Was
Yes, I
modeled
need to
after-
take these drugs, which if you inject them, they stay in your digestive system for 10 years, and then they reverse gravity and blah, 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 blah.
She actually modeled after April O'Neil. She is a news anchor.
I don't know, maybe they just... I'm trying to think of another example. I can't think of an example of a newsreader dressing like that.
You know, it's been 4 months for me. I gotta remember that her mother died like yesterday. Wow. Is it just me or is it weird how much they keep mentioning how Japanese this guy is?
I was gonna say this game's racist against the Japanese.
Lorraine のことは
母の仮葬儀は終わりました。母は友人も少なかったし、私だけの寂しい葬儀でした。
遺体は
難しいみたい。せめてお骨だけでもって思うんですけど。
残念ながらビヨンドへの遺体の持ち込みは許可されないでしょう。
父が知ったらどんなに悲しむか。
遺留品は
遺留品も無理らしいです。
そうですか。お気の毒に。
ロレイン
The
に
colony.
君のこと頼むって言われた。
そうですか。
The regulations of the colony make me think of like boarding a flight, but even when you arrive on the other end, you still can't have those things back. Like no pointy objects, no liquids, no nothing. I mean, no shit.
Can be replaced.
Yeah, it's a VTuber. They do like deep fakes for news. people don't really talk like this, you know. Like she says, like I have anemia, anemia. You don't like
Oh,
get into like, the specifics.
Yeah, everyone has like a scientific understanding of everything that's going on.
Yeah, and you wouldn't necessarily say that to someone if they asked. I don't know. Maybe she's being specific because he's doing investigation. I don't know.
I mean, people, we set up a colony here, but the space radiation gives people anemia occasionally. You know, whatever.
It just seems shitty. I just the negatives just seem to vastly. What are the positives? Just
Earth
more
sucks now?
land. Oh, right, it's snowing in Los Angeles. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I think you like the technology to do this exists now. It's just the logistics would be like holy shit.
Yeah.
Wandering around the house talking about Play-Doh.
I don't want to like go too off topic, but like if you actually think about it, if you think about the length of human history, it's kind of insane that it's within not our lifetimes, but like the lifetime of people we could know that we actually managed to go into space. Given like the infinite stretch of human history that happened within the last century, that's insane.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is
Technology just kind of
skyrocketed with the
it's
industrial revolution.
accelerating. Like there was a ridiculous chunk of history where we're just still in the Stone Age, you know.
Yeah, it's the industrial revolution, I think, mostly. So you just make things on a massive scale, and that you then use those things to build other things. And
この写真
I'm
Starts
really
to
enjoying
grow.
this game's plot, obviously.
この写真
ロレイ
Oh,
ン
the
と
doo-doo-doo is back.
処分は君に任せる
I really like the do.
どうして
Doo-doo Sonic Warrior.
Is that
この
Christmas
ビヨン
Eve?
ドに生きている俺のところじゃない
Yeah.
処分は任せる
わかったわ
Hey, can we watch
That
the
was-
game?
Oh, a chaos system.
I was personally said HD TV, but that could have been the fan translation, so I don't know.
It changes the color of the TV based on your emotions? Why would you need that?
In case you need to know,
No!
you're angry.
I don't need I don't need
You're
a mood
angry.
ring, much less
You're
a mood
confused.
TV.
Oh, now, according to my TV, you're currently confused and angry. I just realized I used that little stinger as like a YTP like a decade ago. I love BBC, and they couldn't change the fan translation couldn't change the thing, so it's Beyond Coast Broadcasting, and it's like,
相談の
what?
時間です
We couldn't change the order, the news order.
Man, she got into the studio like really fucking fast.
That's a VTuber.
地球へ帰ろう運動の決起集会が行われました集会には約1万人
Wait,
Why
so,
is she
like,
even employed then?
I was saying, if that's like a hologram of her or something, then like, why the fuck, like, what does she do?
衝突もありましたが
Gets paid royalties for her lightness? I don't know.
BCP では建設記念日に向けて
Why you can't have, you know, Keanu Reeves and Payday 2?
以上 BBC からお伝えしました
Thanks.
Man, I hate it when they turn the scan lines on in these emulators. Hope they turn it off again. There we go.
これも CG ですね。
No, I was actually there.
私のデータを
No, she's the one who's CG and then she just fades away. Hologram. VR?
You know, for sound. You ever just put on a VR helmet so you could listen to iTunes?
It's like you're in the music. Yeah, I always wanted to be in the Thriller music video. Is that a really angry looking cat in the top left?
Is listening to
Secret-
music a hobby? I think it's just a thing that people do.
Eh.
Oh yes, the optical discs. Wait, CDs are optical discs.
Yeah, also like physical media in general.
Yeah, but like
K-
that's
Kojima
something
didn't-
they would have like known about beforehand, you know?
Yeah. Kojima like also didn't like. I don't think anyone would have predicted. Oh yeah, what would a music enthusiast have in the? Oh god. In the 21st century. Oh, they'll go back to records. You'd be like, what? Why?
I really thought they were going to look at every single one of these CDs.
No, they're just trying to inspire the idea that they're playing a better game.
I like the grumpy cat.
I just keep looking at the bottom right and thinking that's the Nix logo.
Isn't it not that the Konami Penguin game? I think that was like Kojima's first thing he ever worked on. Pretty sure.
Sure if I know that one.
It's like an old Konami arcade game, and I think Kojima worked on like a port or something.
So you said you thought we were going to run through all these CDs?
Owl Cat.
Oh, Owl Cat.
Those are definitely I definitely recognize these musicians like Tappy. He's definitely done some like Castlevania arrangements. Konami were like really into their arranged albums in the 90s.
Oh.
Okay, I like the Sinatra reference.
Doing just fine.
Mambo, Tokyo Mambo. Sorry, I'm so tired. I thought it was fuck girl.
I thought it was like a command, like just throw them. It's like, well, okay. Oh man, we got Anna Williams' theme. Hell yeah.
Well, that was pointless.
Wait, what? We have no bugs, so we have no use for Windows?
Windows screens, you know, like the
Oh, okay. I get you. Really misunderstood.
Yeah, that took me a second because like they're not really common here. So I was like, what? Oh, like bug things, yeah.
Wow, you can see outside. That's adjustable glass for you, or just glass.
No, this is transparent aluminium from Star Trek. It's an actual thing, by the way.
Oh, aluminum was like the metal of the future at some point.
Yeah, the windows on the Starship Enterprise are that. It's made transparent.
Ooh, the Triforce.
Triforce. It's kind of amazing that Zelda managed to get dibs on such a simple logo design, like just 3 triangles. Boom, that's ours.
Level 1 Can't pronounce that name. Separitsky Triangle.
I see there, the bottom right, they're trying to go for adept.
Bottom left is a game of Hive. Top
How
right
is
is
the
the weapon wheel.
Why is this so much more Japanese than the game that's set in Japan?
It is just really weird how, like, emphasized this dude's nationality is. Like, all the architecture in the building he lives in, and also the building he works in, it's all Japanese.
Subordinate shrine?
Yeah, keep the other shrines in line. That's what I heard, anyway.
Those kind of scales. I thought they meant like balancing scales, and I was like, yeah, I can kind of see that. And like, no.
No, dragons, obviously.
So much information. You're just trying to like your brain's just trying to figure out, okay, what's actually going to be important. Like, when am I going to run into like an actual puzzle that's going to require me to have paid attention? Like, oh shit, I forgot about that one obscure Japanese symbol.
Or so I heard.
I feel like you gotta have a balance between actual important information and like red herrings, whereas this is just Yeah, that seems kind of important.
This is just a flood of information. I'm not even sure
Yeah.
any of it is important.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's
ちょっとこれ
overwhelming. That's why I just did not enjoy playing this when I tried.
徳川には内緒ですよ。コピーがあったなんて知れたら大変ですから。
What? Jesus Christ. He's Japanese!
So, but this is written by a Japanese person.
Well, there might have been some translation, you know.
That's the
just
thing,
kinda-
is like, I'm wondering how much of this is like intentionally writing about your own country, like it's interesting to people in the West, and how much of this is just we had to translate this to make it make sense.
Well, I mean, there's clearly there's a big Japanese presence here. Like, you know,
Yeah.
they didn't change any of the art, and like he may end up trying to say something about his own culture through
まだホー
the
ムから遺
plot.
体が届いてませんけど。
遺体をビヨンドへ入れるには手続きが非常に難しいんだ。
母さんも日系人だから仏壇に。
ロレインが死んだのは俺の責任だ。
Oh, now you're the one who's thinking.
俺を頼って。しかし、俺は彼女を追い返
Is
した。
this...
辛かったんだ。
Is the character like a weeb, but he is actually Japanese? Like, just how hard he pushes
それが何
all
を
his Japanese stuff. I'm supposed to just be proud of your culture, I guess.
Very traditionalist.
Yeah, traditionalist.
Check out, yeah, instead of having different rooms in our house, we just have this one screen that turns into different rooms.
Is this some bad CGI? I thought it was like a crystal ball. I thought he was gonna like summon a witch or something. I don't know.
And then you think, like, well, they modeled this. I guess it's important. Who knows
Yeah,
if it is?
there's that meta thing of like just games. When you think too much about the game design, you're like, well, this must be relevant because they put some actual effort into this. Oh, this is voice dialogue. I better pay attention. Hang on, is that an L?
Huh?
I'm sure that said Carolyn. Maybe just mean the font on the background.
中でもミラーの老朽化が特に進んでおり、就航率
You know that place where we all live? It's falling apart.
We're gonna die.
これに対し宇宙推進事業団では10年計画でコロニー内の全パーツを取り替える方針を検討しているとのことです。
What's the appeal of living here again? Yeah, okay, Earth's shitty, but this doesn't seem much better.
BBC からお伝えしました。
I mean, if you have the opportunity to say I live in space, wouldn't you take it?
Yeah, but I think that would have like different connotations after like this reality. Like I live in space, like, oh wow, that's shitty. You can't even like take things, have belongings, have windows. Have to take
It's an R.
drugs. Okay,
次の
I
話題
meant
です。
next to it, but yeah, I think it's just the background.
Ugh.
What the fuck?
ビヨンド内でパーソナルバーチャルリアリティ用のわいせつアダルトソフトを違法制作、販売していたゴールドエイジ
Here's an example. If you didn't know what that is.
AVR 女優2名が検挙されました。調べを受け
Oh,
た
just
ゴールドエイジ
broadcast
では
that on
これまで
TV.
50タイトル以上もの PVR 用わいせつソフトを通信販売。
Here's some of the perverted shit they've been producing. Roll the tape.
Is this important?
Here's some of the films they've been in. They just start broadcasting hardcore porn.
未成年への悪影響が問題沙汰されていた矢先のことでし
I can't get over that. It's just a naked
た。
ass.
以上、
Alright.
BBC からお伝えしました。
Like a Kojima using any excuse.
We have no children here on I keep forgetting what this place is called.
I hope not.
Colony. Beyond.
Beyond heaven.
We're beyond censorship.
I guess I do see the appeal of living in space after all.
If we lived in space, we wouldn't have to censor Armika slapping her ass.
This is a true paradise. This is outer heaven. This is what Big Boss fought for. A world where Armika can slap her ass.
People don't swear here.
He had these violent outbursts. Oh yeah, and now I think about it, that was a little strange. List. This is nice music, but it's not helping this game's pacing. Like, it's putting me to sleep.
My hobby, listening to CDs.
There's no friends. My hobbies include listening to CDs, having no friends.
Avoiding my wife.
This music just
Maybe
makes me
this-
think of like Sims build mode. I should be able to build a Sims house in space.
Let's make this. Yeah, let's make this house. We've got a good view of it. I feel like making these idiots in The Sims just because of that reference. But then I'll have a bit of a problem with the personality because Jonathan's personality perverted,
Smoking?
smoking.
カレンさんどう
You make Karen and then you make CGI Karen.
すまなかった。
私真実を知りたい。だから約束してくださる？どんなことが分かっても父に関すること私に隠さないで教えてください。母に代わって依頼料は払います。
分かった。約束しよう。しかし金はいらない。
Better promise to pay me.
この件はロレイン本人から頼まれたものだ。依頼人はロレインと俺本人だ。
But not you.
ジョナサンって呼んでもいいかしら？
ああ、
Johnny will
ジ
be
ョナサン、
fine.
私さっきは言い過ぎたわ。ごめんなさい。
カレンさんロレインがあんなことになったんだ。あなたも安全とは言えん。何かあればすぐ BCP まで連絡してください。部下を送ります。
ありがとう。
じゃあ、カレン。
Isn't that lunatic Meryl
あ、
with
ジ
a
ョナサン、
knife?
なんだ？
あなたずっとタバコ加えてたわね。
こいつは病気なんだ。気に障ったのなら。
いえ、母からはそんな話聞いたことないから。
大丈夫。このビヨンドにいればやめるさ、きっと。
そうね。じゃあ、
Okay.
失礼するよ。
So stupid, like just chewing an unlit cigarette.
ジョナサン、気を落とすな。時間がかかるが、きっと彼女も分かってくれる。
I like to imagine the prohibition is about smoking is because this character is cool enough to smoke, but they can't actually, have him smoking a cigarette because that nation and,
BCCH へ行って北条の担当していた薬局員に話を聞こう。
俺は病院と注射は苦手なんだが。
俺だってそうだ。患者じゃないんだ。気を楽に行こうぜ。
yeah, you're not going there to get a shot.
I don't want shots.
の話からすると
Didn't say you were getting a shot, Jonathan. I don't want shots.
なるかもしれんぞ。
うん。そうなると困るな。
どうして？
病院を嫌う口実がなくなる。看護婦に甘える口実が減る。
Oh, right. I'm sleazy.
たくましいやつだ。
It's weird because it's like it just kind of crops up every so often, and you're like, oh yeah, he's a fucking scumbag.
Every so often he remembers he has a personality. Just an awful
And
one.
it's yeah. You should
Every
know
so
that
often he gets anime main character main protagonist
俺
syndrome,
はビヨンド H のマンモス病院。
which has been well known to the Beyond Police
でかい病院だな。
CCH hospital
北条の手がかりを
district, along with
base
what
course.
was it? Home. It wasn't homesick syndrome. It was something stupid. Returner syndrome.
Yeah.
Holy shit! This hospital is huge.
It must have huge guts.
Did he say he had like a shot to get onto Colony? Because like, sorry, maybe I'm thinking about this too hard in like the coronavirus era, but like if there was like a viral outbreak there, that'd be like really bad. I'm imagining you'd have to get some sort of vaccine just to visit the place.
BCCH のロビーだぞ。
これだけのマンモス病院だ。
Damn! I found a hole in Kojima's amazing world building.
At the same time, it's like you bring all those people there, you're going to bring
北条の手がかりを探そう。
the regular diseases, anyways.
Seems Kojima thought about everything else. Maybe like the pacing's so bad because like this artwork, I assume took quite a bit longer to make than the pixel backgrounds and snatches. So they just really wanted to make use out of every scene they drew.
No, I don't know. It's that. I think it's just the way it's written.
Yeah, it's a combination of the volume of writing plus like In fact, there isn't like a very concise number of options. There's a point and click where you have to actually look around the screen to
今日は
find
どう
shit.
されましたか
いや実は
We've got
Uh-oh,
the
it's wacky music and a
We've got the
lady.
アンケート用紙に
we've got
症状を
theme
詳
of
しくご記
horny.
入ください。
違うんだ。俺たちはどこも悪くはない。
There's nothing wrong with this. Can I touch your
俺た
tips?
ちはビヨンド警察のものなんだが
Theme of Jonathan in brackets horny.
警察の方
I love how theme of Jonathan brackets horny is the most MIDI thing ever.
Yeah, oh my. I was gonna say something like over the top and silly, but that outdid anything I could think of.
That just fucking happened, alright.
I still love the story that Slow Beef worked on this translation, and then at one point you realize, like, oh, this is awful. I've made a horrible mistake. You can't.
Oh! I remember this lady. The one they just mentioned.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of remembered.
Uh-oh. I'm going to see something
Oh yeah.
fun.
実は人を探してるんだが北条健三という
Wondering if. Anyway, I should
僕は製薬
talk
のプロ
over
パで
this.
I'm looking for a missing person. Can I look inside your pants?
I think he's looking at
プ
pennies.
ロパーの方ですか
知らないか。
プロパーの方は関係者用の通用口から出入りしますので
I can eat something off your ass. What?
ご
What
有
are
見
you
でしたら
talking about?
当病院の理事長に相談されては
理事長ね
どちらにせよ理事長の許可が必要ですから
I think I can name some reasons.
I like the idea that this is like, you know, very Western story, you know, 80s cop show kind of thing. But also it has a protagonist that just will look at a random woman and be like, man, I'd eat anything off her ass. And it's like, yeah, that's appealing.
I did hear Gillian C was kind of pervy in the original Japanese Snatch. I'm wondering how much they toned that down in the translation. If he was like this bad. But then again, like I know for a fact Snatch didn't have fucking bouncy tit animations and interactions, so I'm gonna go ahead and say probably not as bad as Jonathan. Wondering how responsible some of Kojima's co-writers are for designing like his characters, because he made like the boss, who's probably like the greatest female video game character ever, in my opinion. But then he also made Quiet, who's just a fucking piece of shit. So I don't know, like it's weird.
He has moments of brilliance in between the shit.
I've heard things where like he may have been influenced by co-writers and things like that. Maybe like people try and rein him in, but you know, I was also just thinking, irrespective of the game's like overall quality, you can't translate that. You can't release this as shit in the West, not without like completely stripping all this pervy shit out. Like you could not release maybe now. Maybe there's like a niche thing, but back in the 90s, there's like a physical PlayStation game. You can't release this in the West.
You couldn't even sell this even if it was censored, because this is just not a game that people in the West in the 90s would play.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, it's sort of its quality, but like this pervy stuff, like that can't. I'm going to think like everyone was like a bit more lax in the 90s. Oh my god, here we go.
No, it's okay. We have like an hour worth of talking to her before anything happens, I'm sure.
Yeah, I remember this character. Look, and actually remember who she was.
Yeah, no, I was
I
just...
just see. Look at this pose.
I remember this lady sitting in a chair. That's just what I remember.
Just expecting Fatal
大
Attraction.
なまりがあるな。
私は BCCH 理事長のクリス・ゴドウィンです。
私は BCP 風紀課のエド・ブラウン。
俺はジョナサン・イングラム。OLA で
ああ、そうだ。
Cheapo out the music. Maybe it's that MIDI
ど
sound.
こかで見た顔だと思った。あなたたちポリスノーツのエドとジョナサン？
どうして？
私よ。覚えてないかしら？一度少女雑誌のカバーを一緒に撮影したでしょ？もう30年も前だけど。
おう、あのモデルのクリスちゃん。そうか。
Christian. Oh no! Oh no!
あのクリスか
Oh no, she's a Christian.
モデルか。
Oh,
受付
that's
でも
better than what I just said.
もうすっかりおばちゃんよ。そうね。あなたたちなの。会えて嬉しいわ。で、どんな要件？
Mel.
Fuck off! Are you fucking kidding me?
What, you don't do?
Fucking the Cobra
Oh,
game
I'm gonna
didn't
sniff her chair after she stands up.
fucking...
その手に持っている。
Imagine if that Cobra game had one of the options you walk in on a lady naked and you're just like, can I smell you?
マスキート。
Oh, I remember this.
化型の採血マイクロマシン。
I remember not understanding what the fuck this thing was supposed to do.
プログラムがいかれちゃって制御できないの。
It's like it injects you with drugs.
Yeah, but why does it have to be a mosquito?
It's an autonomous inject you with
クリス
drugs.
の子供？
Why would you need that?
他人の子供よ。
君の子供じゃないの？
ジョナサン、よせ。
Wait, was that a horror sting for a picture of her holding a baby?
Yeah, it's not her baby.
It's an attempt
it's-
as a joke.
Why are you posing with a? Why have you got a framed picture of a? I think that stinger meant it's plot important.
Who knows?
I've been ignoring everything about the drugs. I've only been paying attention to what he's going to eat off people's asses or something. A lot of like anime colored hair, because his blue hair is still bothering the shit out of me.
Yeah.
Oh god, you know what? I just realized, like, Solid Snake was originally based on Mel Gibson. He's got two fucking protagonists based on Mel Gibson. I only just picked up on that. Oh my god.
Thanks for that.
Oh god, he just watched. It is Fatal Attraction I'm thinking of, right? The crossing the legs scene.
I have no idea.
I don't remember.
I think it's Fatal Attraction.
The smell of drugs.
I mean, like that sort of like medicinal kind of antiseptic smell of a hospital, because that I understand, but not the smell of drugs.
Okay, stop trying to eat the women.
They're not literally melons, dude. It's
How
just
mu-
a term.
But say, did I just see that correctly? Did you just look at her tits and go, "Those look delicious"? Like that's a thing that somebody would say and not get thrown into fucking jail.
実は行方不明になったある人物の足取りを追っている。
We're just gonna talk like nothing just happened.
王女？聞かないわね。
Do you
I
think
love
that
she
this
just like she just stops mid sentence and she goes, "Hang on a second, did you just say you wanted to suck my tits? What the fuck is wrong with you? Get the fuck out! I didn't register it because like I can't believe someone would say that."
それなら薬局の薬剤師に聞けばわかるはずよ。
What the
この薬の管理
fuck?
は全て彼に任してるから。それで
We have one pharmacist at this hospital. One.
The game should just like soft lock when he says that because she just refuses to speak to him anymore, and you can't actually do anything. Someone should put that in a modern game, like very like meta thing to teach you not to be a perv.
I'd call
You
that a
can't win the
hard
game.
lock.
I'll call the game. Yeah, it's my new gameplay system. It's called the cock block mechanic. Like, don't make like a big point of it. Just make it the game unbeatable if you act like a creepy weirdo. Like you're an investigator, but people won't talk to you if you act like a fucking weirdo. So you can't do your job and you lose.
And to think you missed all this dialogue because you weren't an idiot. See, this is the experience that we were missing whenever you were playing Policenauts.
Yeah.
Sorry, we just had a big long discretion about the Japanese pharmaceutical industry and how it and how it's bad for consumers. And then we're like, oh right, we're supposed to be trying to figure out who the pharmacist is and solving the mystery in front of us.
Yeah, I remember from when we originally watched this. It's like boring as shit, and then something really stupid and or perverted comes up, and then we're like completely distracted by that, and then we miss the following like 5 minutes of dialogue because we're reeling from that.
Space plane. I'm pretty sure we're still going to call them spaceships.
You can't call it airplane because... Wait.
It has air in it. It's a plane that has air in it.
Obviously it has space in it. Please leave her alone. I don't need to know about the edibility of her ass.
Okay. Okay, first of all, why do you have a separate organization for the procurement and for the distribution? Third of all, why do you call it the Organ Procurement Network? That's the most sinister sounding thing possible. Let me just procure some organs real fast. Let me get my knife.
No, more like let me go and get my shovel. Oh wait, no, sorry, they don't bury bodies on Beyond.
Wait, so then what do they do with them? Do they just shoot them into space?
Viking funeral.
The space Viking funeral?
Yeah, hell yeah.
I want that if I live long enough for casual space travel.
It's like what they did with Spock.
Yeah.
They just have a fleet of fucking neutron photon torpedoes to launch people out of.
Oh my god.
Oh no, the font is getting so big. It's like they had to move the dialogue box over there.
Maybe that is armor piercing. Oh my god, this is so boring.
It's
Dude.
like it's like all the other shit's supposed to make us be like, well, I kind of regret like saying that this drug shit was boring because the alternative isn't much better.
Like, do you remember that bit in Snatcher when they go into like the biology of making the artificial skin? It's like that's a kind of similar vibe, but it's the ends of it all. You get badass robots impersonating people. I was like, that's interesting. This is mundane. This is too.
It's also
ordinary.
part of the clue, you know. You figure out that the artificial skin is actually important because it, you know, it has the melanoma. And like later on, you're like in their factory, so it's just like, oh god.
Yeah, it's part of the plot. It's ominous.
This is a well-researched term paper masquerading as a video game.
Oh no, I just remembered something. The absolute low of this game, which happens in like the final act, like the last third.
Oh,
Do you remember, SK?
I think so.
I don't want to like say where you go or anything, not that it really matters, but
I remember several just moments in this
it
game.
gets worse than this.
Why is brain death a topic? I got lost.
You're investigating like a disappearance and murder. What?
And
why
then
you
you just get sidetracked to because Kojima researched all this stuff and he's gonna damn well put it in the game.
You can still have this in the game. Just make it like extracurricular, you know?
Yeah, realistically, how much information is needed to find somebody?
What's the absolute like? If you did a tool-assisted speedrun of this, like, what is the a speedrun? What is the absolute minimum? Like, what are the literal trigger points to get through the game? I'm very curious. Because this playthrough is like relatively succinct and holy shit, we are barely into this. This, oh my god.
So they developed microscopic mosquito bots that draw blood and do blood.
They fly
Except they can't. There's no way they could draw a decent amount of blood because they're microscopic.
Oh no, here it comes.
They're not actually microscopic though, unless this one is just bigger than the other ones.
Never mind. Yeah. Never mind. But it's still not enough.
I think they were describing it as microscopic though, right?
どうやってカーソルでクリックするんだ慎重にな
But there's some of the fourth wall stuff.
くそ逃げられた
My god, you just know what's coming.
クリスじっとしてるんだ動かないように
You very clearly just let that open.
また逃げられた
Yeah, why didn't she like shoo it away?
What is this character? She's like a leading professional, but then there's like an insect. She's like, "Oh, help me!
It's not an insect. It's like her robot, and like she's
Oh.
terrified of. Like she knows it's like a horrible demon thing.
I know
That's
that,
going
but
to-
well, she's gone from like looking really professional and in control to being an idiot.
She also like opened that thing up which released it for some reason.
Come on, just get it over with. I know where that thing's going. Thank you.
Why does this thing have like AI or something? Where it's like autonomous and it's like, I'm going to go around randomly and suck people's blood like a real mosquito. Like, why was it programmed to do this?
俺は人生を恨むよ
Yeah, me too, buddy.
Yeah, I hate your life as well.
やった触った触った
What is this character? He goes from like
ありがとう
suave, well, I'll say
いや
like suave,
こん
but
なこ
not
となら
really.
い
But
つでも
he goes from like a cool and collected,
ジョナサン
action
Oh my
guy
God.
to then just
後で
he goes
感想を
like
聞か
into
せて
like a
くれよ
12-year-old boy.
本当におかしい
He's
人
like
た
a
ちね
space policeman, like a literal like
まるでバディ映画
astronaut
から抜けてたみ
policeman.
たい
And then he got frozen,
まあ
and then he came out
大
as a
事に至
fucking
らなくて
child.
よかった
そうね
Yeah,
He
basically.
just has anime
こ
protagonist
れからどう
syndrome.
するお二人さん
There's
It's
a
like-
lot of these who are just like totally normal and like get really cool and collected at certain points, but then they just get horny. Oh god, there's a touch. Oh, we have a callback to our previous.
Who actually gets off on this? Like seriously.
Are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not sure it's supposed to be funny.
ニノ
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I know. I
You're not
know.
supposed to actually get
I
off
know.
on it.
ニノ
Who finds it funny? I don't understand.
I know this.
見れたか
Oh, Christ.
見た生きててよかった
Oh, that felt fucking like eternity.
You think Kojima's ever had sex?
No.
He's read plenty of books about it though.
I bet you anything if I went up to a woman and just smacked her in the tits, she'd be like
そこの扉
mildly annoyed by it.
She'd let me eat whatever I want off her.
ジョナサン
なんだい
By the way, Jonathan,
What the
Jonathan, I'm
fuck?
gonna have you arrested.
Have you considered quitting? Because you're gonna be fired very
私と
shortly.
しては黙認できないんだけど
香水好きの女性としてなら黙認できるだろう
オッケーよ脅迫がうまいわね
男と女の駆け引きさ
I like this shit. Hello. Oh, I see you've got less clearance than that other guy.
薬なら窓口で